After smashing 2 past Nando's FC, Newcastle have sent the Tottenham coach packing.
Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
So from the £40 million masterclass, to the linchpin effect, to the underrated defence, to Eddie Howe's new unorthodox attack, could Newcastle be about to start their resurgence? As per, join us as we'll break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from Tottenham Hotspur 1 Newcastle United 2.
Let's go!
So the first thing we learned on the night was the £40 million masterclass. Jacob Ramsey delivered a performance full of energy, intelligence and quality, finishing with a 7.6 rating and earning man of the match honours. He showed real athleticism at both ends of the pitch, constantly demanding the ball and progressing it quickly whenever he had possession. With 38 touches, 6 carries and a total carrying distance of 67.3 meters, he was involved all over the pitch. His total progression of 13.9 meters highlighted how direct and purposeful he was, always looking to drive Newcastle forward. Even when closely marked, he remained composed, completing 19 of 22 passes, 86%, including 12 of 14 in the opposition half and 7 of 8 in his own half. Before his brilliant finish, Ramsey had already put in a huge defensive shift. He registered 3 defensive contributions, won his only tackle, blocked 2 shots and made 2 recoveries. In duels he competed fiercely, winning 3 of his 6 ground battles, committing 2 fouls but never being dribbled past. He was also fouled twice himself, showing how difficult he was to contain. On top of that, he had the most shots in the game, a clear sign of his attacking intent. Then came the moment that sealed it. His goal, worth 0.40 xG, was taken with composure and confidence, his first for the club. The relief was visible as he celebrated, knowing how much it meant. It was the least he deserved after a statement performance packed with endeavour, discipline and attacking threat. He wasn't just effective, he was influential. Speaking after the game, Ramsey admitted that Eddie Howe has been pushing him for more output. "I've played in a lot of different positions this season. I played more attacking tonight. The manager has demanded I get my numbers up." That honesty tells you everything. This performance wasn't accidental, it was a response. Now the challenge is clear. Use this as a platform. If Ramsey builds on this level of intensity and productivity, that £40 million fee won't just look justified, it will look like a bargain. This moves us to the second thing we learned, that being the linchpin effect of Bruno Guimarães. Rated 8.1 on the night and officially Newcastle's highest chance creator, Bruno once again showed why everything flows through him. Linking beautifully with Willock and Ramsey, both willing runners ahead of him, he essentially played quarterback, dictating tempo and switching play with authority. He had 68 touches, carried the ball 17 times for a total of 121.6 meters, with 52.2 meters of total progression and 43.8 meters of progressive carrying distance. When Bruno is on song, Newcastle don't just move, they glide. Creatively, he was outstanding. He registered 0.40 expected assists, produced 3 key passes, the most of any Newcastle player, and completed 10 crosses, 4 of them accurate. His distribution was sharp, completing 86% of his passes, including 22 of 26 in the opposition half, 85%, and 15 of 17 in his own half, 88%. He also hit 5 accurate long balls from 9 attempts, 56%. Yes, he lost possession 13 times, but that's the trade-off when you're the one constantly trying to make things happen. Defensively, he was just as influential. Bruno made 7 defensive contributions, won all 4 of his tackles, the most of any player on the pitch, added 1 interception, 2 clearances, and 5 recoveries. In ground duels he won 6 of 9, committing just 1 foul and only being dribbled past twice. That's the balance that makes him so special, elegance and edge in equal measure. But there was concern late on. Bruno hobbled off again in the closing minutes, and while initial fears suggested a recurrence of his previous ankle issue, Eddie Howe later revealed it may be a hamstring problem. "I'm not sure how he is, but I think he's a little bit worried," Howe admitted. He said he's never had a problem with his hamstrings before, so is it cramp or was it a muscle problem? "It probably feels like it was more of an injury to me, but let's wait and see. We're trying to stay positive at this moment." For a player so pivotal, that uncertainty will make fans nervous, and rightly so. Beyond just this match, Bruno's importance is measurable. According to WhoScored, he is currently the most informed player in the Premier League, averaging a 7.71 rating across his last 6 appearances. He has now reached over 60 goal contributions for Newcastle and is just the third midfielder in club history to score 30-plus Premier League goals, after Nobby Solano and Rob Lee. That places him in elite company. Looking purely at the metrics, his profile is extraordinary. He combines defensive steel with game-breaking creativity, progression with protection. He's not just an asset in Fantasy Premier League, he's the axis of this team. When Bruno plays, Newcastle have balance. When he doesn't, the structure shifts. Simply put, he's needed. Then, after Newcastle refused to sell Joe Willock to Crystal Palace, he responded in exactly the right way, with a brilliant all-action performance. He thought he had produced a special moment when he found the net, only for VR to rule him offside by what felt like a forehead. He later joked that he should have gotten his trim earlier, and honestly, that summed up the margins involved, with some analysts revealing Willock was not offside in the build-up to Newcastle's disallowed goal against Tottenham. Either way, he deserved a goal after a display full of energy, drive, and intent. If anything, the only thing slightly missing was that final bit of decision-making in the last third. But this looked like a player playing for his future, and playing like he knew it. Statistically, his performance backed up the eye test. He registered 0.11 xG and 0.17 xA, produced 2 key passes and completed 2 crosses, one of them accurate. He was tidy in possession, completing 19 of 23 passes, 83%, including 15 of 19 in the opposition half, 79%, and a perfect 4 of 4 in his own half. He even completed his only long ball attempt. Willock had 3 shots, 1 on target and 1 blocked, and was caught offside once. That painful VAR moment. Across his 47 touches, he was constantly involved, constantly moving, constantly offering. Then we also learned about the electric Anthony Elanga. With a 6.9 rating, this felt like the beginning of seeing the £50 million version Newcastle paid for. It took a while, but he's starting to look more confident and decisive. He whipped in plenty of crosses, won several corners, and ran his socks off all night. Carrying the ball 14 times, he was a constant outlet and gave Spence serious problems with his direct running. Much like Ramsey, this level now has to become the baseline. The work rate and threat were there. Now it's about consistency. On the other side, Harvey Barnes grafted hard for his 6.8 rating and didn't shy away from the defensive side of the game. He contributed 2 defensive actions, attempted a tackle, made an interception and 3 recoveries, won 4 of his 7 ground duels and wasn't dribbled past once. That defensive discipline deserves credit. However, going forward he wasn't as sharp as we've come to expect. He had 3 shots, 1 off target and 1 blocked, but seemed to fade as the game wore on. The effort was unquestionable, but the cutting edge just wasn't quite there this time. Then moving on to the unorthodox striker option, Anthony Gordon. Chosen ahead of natural strikers Wissa and Voltemata, Gordon led the line and delivered a 7.1 rated performance that justified the decision. Tellingly, after the game, Eddie Howe praised his ability to press high with electric pace, something that immediately makes you question why we signed 2 strikers who don't naturally excel in that department. His energy from the front set the tone, and he capped it off by grabbing the match-winning assist for Ramsey. He was electric throughout. Gordon registered 1 assist from 0.11 xA, had 4 total shots, the third most in the game, and missed 1 big chance. Across his 34 touches, he was constantly looking to drive forward. He completed both of his dribbles, 2 out of 2, the most of any player on the pitch, showing that directness and confidence. He was fouled twice, carried the ball 9 times for a total carrying distance of 81.7 meters, including 2 progressive carries. His total progression measured 14.7 meters, with 41.7 meters of progressive carrying distance, and his longest progressive carry stretched 14.7 meters, a constant outlet and threat in transition. He also added a key pass to his assist. Defensively, he contributed 2. 1 defensive contribution, a successful tackle, 1 out of 1, 2 recoveries, and he won 5 of his 7 ground duels along with 1 of 2 aerial duels. He committed no fouls and was only dribbled past once. Impressive considering the defensive work he was asked to do from the front. And when you zoom out, the numbers become even more impressive. In Premier League goal contributions against the Big Six, Gordon now sits on 23, more than Ian Wright's 22. That tells you everything about his impact in the biggest games. Then Thiaw was also a colossus. He chipped in with another goal, showing great reactions to poke the ball home right on the stroke of half-time. It was a proper centre-half's finish, instinctive and aggressive. He ended the game with a 7.3 rating, registering 1 goal from 3 shots and a 0.49 xG, along with 0.19 xa. Defensively, he was immense. 10 defensive contributions, 8 clearances, 2 blocked shots and 4 recoveries. In the air, he dominated, winning 5 of his 6 aerial duels, and although he won none of his single ground duel, he was only dribbled past once and committed 0 fouls. On the ball, he was just as assured, completing 32 of 35 passes, 91%, including 15 of 18 in the opposition half, 83%, and a perfect 17 of 17 in his own half. His distribution was flawless at range 2, completing both long balls, 2 out of 2. According to WhoScored's highest-rated players of Premier League Game Week 26 so far, Thiaw sits second with an 8.21 rating, only behind James Hill and above the likes of Cole Palmer. No defender has scored more Premier League goals this season than Malick Thiaw, 4, moving level with Christian Romero and Mickey van de Ven. Remarkably, he has more league goals than Alexander Isak and Liam Delap combined, more than Ryan Cherki, and the same number as Wirtz, Salah, Rice and Saka. For a centre-back, those numbers are outrageous. Sven Botman alongside him was equally outstanding. Also rated 7.3, he threw himself in front of everything and put in one of his best performances in a long time. He made 9 defensive contributions, 5 clearances, 3 blocked shots, and 3 recoveries. He won his only tackle, 1 out of 1, added a last-man tackle, and wasn't dribbled past once. In the air, he was dominant, winning 5 of 9 aerial duels, and on the ground he won 1 of 2 duels. In possession, he was elite. 30 of 32 passes completed, 94%, including 100% accuracy in his own half, 21 out of 21, 9 out of 11 in the opposition half, 82%, and a perfect 2 out of 2 long balls. He had 47 touches and, incredibly for a centre-back, actually recorded the highest XG in the match. A consistent run in the side is clearly proving beneficial. Let's just hope he can stay fit. Despite my preference for Leo Shahar to get a chance, Kieran Trippier delivered a much improved 7.1 rated performance. He's looked all at sea lately, but this was far steadier. Still susceptible to pace at times, yet tidy in possession and clearly leaning on his experience. He had the most Newcastle touches and accurate passes, completing 40 of 52, 77%, including 24 of 34 in the opposition half, 71%, and 16 of 18 in his own, 89%. His long distribution was strong at 7 out of 10, 70%, and he added a 0.02 xa with 4 crosses attempted. Defensively, he made 6 contributions, winning 1 of 3 tackles, adding 3 clearances, 2 recoveries, and winning 4 of 7 ground duels plus 3 of 4 aerial duels. He conceded 2 fouls and was dribbled past once, but overall this felt like a step back toward the composed trips we know. On the other side, Dan Burn, rated 6.8, was slotted in at left back with Lewis Hall rightly rested. It was a typical Burn display, no nonsense and efficient after a slightly shaky start. He recorded 9 defensive contributions, including 5 tackles, winning 3 clearances, 1 blocked shot and 3 recoveries. He won 5 of 7 ground duels and 3 of 5 aerial duels, conceding just 1 foul and being dribbled past once. In possession, he was solid without being spectacular. 29 out of 37 accurate passes, 78%, 12 out of 17 in the opposition half, 71%, and 17 out of 20 in his own, 85%, with 1 key pass and 0.01 xa. His long balls, 0 out of 3, didn't quite land, but his reading of the game continues to compensate for any lack of pace. And it's worth saying, Newcastle's defense is underrated. In terms of least XG conceded this season, Arsenal lead with 18.53, but Newcastle are second on 29.84 imagine, ahead of Liverpool on 31.23. That tells you this backline is not just performing, it's statistically elite. Ultimately, after the result, a happy Eddie Howe reflected that connection at full time with his fist pump. I had no choice. It's not really style. It was more in recognition for the fact we haven't won, away, enough. Our supporters travel far and wide to watch us and we've let them down. I'm grateful the special connection is still there. And that connection, combined with performances like this at the back, is exactly why this side feels like can build something serious. But if you would like to know Cristiano Ronaldo's recent shocking truth about the Public Investment Fund and Newcastle United, click the video link on screen now.